Friends, good morning. We celebrate today the feast of St. Thomas the Apostle, probably better known to most Catholics as Thomas the Doubter. I want to try and rehabilitate that a little bit here this morning. First of all, chances are, if you or I were part of the group of apostles who witnessed Jesus' arrest, his beatings, his scourgings, the mocking, the betrayal, if we witnessed his crucifixion, if we were part of the group who received his body off of the cross and wrapped it in linen and embalmed it, 100 pounds of spices and aloes, and we laid it inside a tomb, rolled a huge stone in front of it, chances are we'd also have a hard time believing the claim that we have seen the Lord, that he's back. Thomas's response is the most rational and reasonable response to have. He's not so much Thomas the Doubter as he is just Thomas the Human. He's Thomas the Human. What I especially love about Thomas that kind of gets glossed over is that he refused to just go along to get along. He didn't just ignore the things that were in his heart. He struggled with this disbelief. Lord, if I don't see the wounds in his hands and his side, I am not going to believe. He was honest about what he needed to see in order to believe. You know what happened because Thomas was honest about his heart? Because he was honest about his needs, because he didn't just shut down his heart, because he stayed in communion with his own heart and needs and desires, Thomas got to experience the utter intimacy with the Lord. This incredible moment of such vulnerability, such intimacy. This encounter that Jesus has with Thomas, it is so tender. And Thomas would never have gotten to experience this if he had simply shut his heart down, or if he had just put a mask on, if he just pretended to go along to get along with the other apostles. No, if Thomas had shut all of that down, he would never have gotten to have this moment, this exquisite moment of intimacy with Jesus. I see this encounter that Thomas has with Jesus, that Jesus has with Thomas, as such an icon of the kind of vulnerability, the kind of intimacy that the Lord longs to have with each of us. Jesus steps into the room and he lowers himself to this lowest place, this posture of like a beggar before Thomas, begging trust out of him, begging love out of Thomas's heart. And he lets Thomas touch his wounds. Here, Thomas, here's my hands, here's my side. Why does he let Thomas touch his wounds? I think it's this: to elicit a reciprocal response. Not just out of Thomas, but out of us. That the risen Christ, one of the very first things that the risen Lord does is he allows humanity to touch his wounds, to get up close and personal with his wounds. Why? Because Jesus, more than anything, wants to get up close and personal with our wounds. Like, I will let you touch my wounds, Thomas, so that you would have the courage to let me touch your wounds, those tender places of pain in your heart where you've learned to paper it over, to mask it over, right? Jesus is not indifferent to our wounds. He wants to touch, to engage the wounds, to let his love enter the wounds. We often just want to be fixed. We just want these difficult places in our hearts just to be done away with. Just fix it, Lord. Make it better. It's not how the Lord heals. He doesn't heal by fixing, because you're not broken. He heals by entering with love into communion. The medicine that he gives is himself. The medicine he gives is his love accompanying us, being with us in painful places. Thomas is not just Thomas the Doubter. Thomas is the utterly human one, committed to his own heart, And because of that, he got to have this incredible moment with the Lord, where the Lord invited him to touch his wounds so that Thomas's own wounds could be touched by Jesus. And then at the end, this ecstatic cry of faith, "My Lord and my God." My Lord and my God. May we follow Thomas's lead and let the Lord also touch our wounds. Amen.